Malaysia Green Building Council, also known as Malaysia GBC, is an organization that promotes green building programs, technologies, and design practices, aims to make Malaysia an eco-friendly and sustainability place on Earth. Malaysia GBC was founded in May 2009 by a group of passionate building consultants, academia, and representatives. Even since Malaysia's building has increased, the efficiency of resources used in each building was built with green in mind. Malaysia GBC is also supported and associated with most of the top industry institutions. In the year 2015, Malaysia GBC became an established member of the World Green Building Council and known to be the only organization in Malaysia to be supported by the World GBC. Malaysia GBC continues to be the platform that networks, promotes, educates, and most importantly, develops the sustainable, built into the land of Malaysia. With much more passionate industry professionals, we can make Malaysia a greener and better place on Earth.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to be the moderator for this session. I'm Regine Chu, the Council Member of Malaysia Green Building Council and also the Chair for Northern Chapter. Malaysia GBC is a non-profit organization promotes green building and sustainability. We are looking for more green industrial players like you to join us to grow the green economy. Please feel free to type in the questions that you would like to ask the speakers, and we will address all the questions during the Q&A session. The presentation is about to begin. Honorable Datuk T.S. Chan Wah Kiang, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. First of all, on the behalf of Malaysia Green Building Council, I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar. Today, we would like to have the presentation from Ajia Berhad. Before the presentation begins, allow me to introduce the presenter today, Datuk Technologist Chan Wah Kiang. He is the Managing Director of Ajia Berhad. In 1990, he co-founded Asia Roofing Industries Sdn Berhad to manufacture metal roll form products and successfully listed the company under Ajia Berhad on second board of Kuala Lumpur Stock Exchange, now Bursa Malaysia. In 1996 later, and in main market, and in 2003. He then also co-founded Ajia Safety Glass Sdn Berhad, which has become the leading safety glass processor in ASEAN region. Without further ado, I would like to welcome the speaker today to deliver the presentation. Green building should start with a green supply chain. Over to you, Datuk T.S. Chan Wah Kiang. The floor is yours now.
Thank you, Regine Chu of Malaysian Green Building Council. Likewise, thank you to the crew behind Vincent, Monging, and also Donna for making this possible. And good afternoon to everybody again. I'm here to share with you, being as a local player, where we have had in the industry for 31 years. So from there, just like an individual, what kind of reskill and upskill an organization has to. So Ajia has by all means, we got to change and also transform ourselves along the way and to be relevant in the industry. That make us to be proud that we are already 31 years and we are still young, and there's a long way for us to go. And today, this afternoon, I'm sharing with you the green building. It should start actually with a green supply chain. When you look at the green supply chain itself, it is not just a logistic. It is the whole ecosystem pertaining from the raw material to the finished product. So let me start with my presentation with the first slide. Yeah. Let me go then. some technical problem. Okay, when we talk about urbanization, so as you can see on the chart itself, historical urban CAGR of 2.5% up to the year of about 2010, at 2.5%. And from here onwards, there will be another CAGR of about 1.5%. So as you can see, we have a 4 billion population urbanized, and by year 2050, it will go up to 6.7 billion. Likewise, in Malaysia itself, you can also look into it that we are also has an increase in the number of urbanization. It is at 2020, we are about 1/3 of the population. And by the year 2050, it will go up to about 90%. To be exact, is 88%. This is the survey by the industry. And here we have to talk about green building, what aspect or the benefits of having green building, and with the supply chain that is also part of the system. We can look into from the economic perspective, where with the green building, you are able to create jobs and boost the economy. It spur up R&D and also innovation, so that a company are looking into technology that could be a climate resilient, and also building infrastructure and buildings that is climate resilient. Likewise, it is creating a very strong bonded local or global institution partnership. So that is on the economic perspective. On the environmental side, the positive of it is we use circular principles, where resources are the waste will be minimum, and it must be using the 3R. Reuse, recycle, and remake. And we produce a fewer emission that will also help on the reducing the carbon footprint, and improve biodiversity, because when the environment is green, imagine even you urbanize, you still could improve on the biodiversity, and by efficiency in the water usage. So you are protecting the forest and also saving the resources. Likewise, on the social side, what advantage you have? There is improving on the people's health and well-being, and also building blocks of the sustainable communities and the cities. And with this, under this EES, we are covering 9 goals of the SDG goal under United Nations. Goal number 3, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 15, and 17. And on the green supply chain, we have to emphasize on the pre-construction compared with the post-construction. So on the pre-construction, it actually contributing 80% of the carbon footprint compared with construction at site. So for that, it is paramount important that the pre-construction supply chain, including the building components being selected, manufactured, transported, used, and the scrap shall be evaluated during the building design and the planning stage. That is to say, you look into the root cause first, rather than the rectification. So the emphasis should be on the design and the planning stage, yeah, and also the selection. And under the CIDB classification, they have categorized 6 categories of IBS system. And why IBS? IBS is this industrial building system, which is it has such like precast concrete system, timber frame system, a blockwork system, reusable frame system, a formwork system, sorry, and the steel frame system. And the number 6 is an innovative system. And AGIA, we have a category of the product called AGIPS, which is fall into this special innovative system. And with this IBS system, supported with the other ancillary green operational and maintenance system, such as the solar heater, solar PV system, the hot water recirculation, smart home system, Energy Star appliances that it is adopting in the houses, energy efficient and heating, cooling elements, energy efficient lightings, so on and so forth. These are all elements that could add on to the complementary to the building itself, and to make the greener supply chain. And how AGIA play a role in such? In AGIA, after the 31 years from the beginning of only manufacturing component, and we were then has the element of a green in our DNA. We are thinking how to make product that is using steel-based, iron-based, that could substitute timber, so that less timber being cut and conserve the forest. So for that, after 31 years of in the business, through our innovation and R&D, we have come up with the 8+1 series of a total housing solution, which the raw material itself constituting glass and the metal. And for this, if you were to visit here, we have a AGIA metal roofing system, AGIA metal composite floor decking, AGIA lightweight metal door frame, wall frame, AGIA metal frame, Architect sunshade louvers, Architect ceiling, AGIA metal trusses, and the AGIA safety glass. So for that, we complement with another partnership that is providing the EPCC for the solar voltaic system. So AGIA has been actively promoting using renewable energy. And we have 16 plants across Peninsula and Thailand. And so far we have 10 plants that has already installed with a combined 3.3 megawatt peak of a solar voltaic system. And that it is itself avoiding 2,000 tons of CO2 emission per year, and equivalent to 800,000 tree seedlings grown for 10 years to absorb such CO2 amount. And this is using the NEM calculator. And here, how AGIA promoting the circular principle for the construction. Instead of using the linear model, where they will be just take, make, and then dispose, versus a circular principle where they will be reuse, recycle, and remake. Important key point here is retroactive and also regenerative. so that then the products and the components of the material could be utilized to its highest efficiency and the value with it. So here, on the metal side, when you recycle material of metal, you are using 74% less energy than you're creating the steel from the raw material. Likewise, every ton of the steel we recycle, we are saving 2,005 pounds of iron ore, and that is equivalent to 1,004 pounds of coal and 122 pounds of limestone used. Likewise, on the glass recycling, when you recycle glass, you are reducing air pollution easily by 20% and also water pollution by 50%. So reuse of energy to melt glass, it can be what we call much lower temperature, so you are reducing the energy use. Okay, here I would like to introduce you about our green product that is under the innovative, which is we call it the AGIPS. So under IBS, which is why it is named as IBS, because there is a use of automation, there is mechanization, and also there is prefabrication in the factory itself. So it makes the product itself flexible and easy for delivery. It has shortened the construction period, less manpower intensive, and you have a very quality build, which is cool, quiet, and durable. And of course, it must be commercial viable. And the other advantage is it has very minimum debris. Okay, and coming into here, you look into on your right side, there is a cycle where IBS plus the recyclable material of what AGIA is using, our metal and glass, they can make into a green building, and the scrap could be recycled. And likewise, in our premise, we are using natural sources of sustainable energy. There is a solar voltaic system, which is providing the green energy. And this is a circular principle that it is behind what we are operating. And when you come to our AGIPS, you can look at the site where, you know, all these are the stages of the progress that you could see you are reducing much labor force, and things are all could be done in the design stage, and any alteration could be made rather than you got to hack and rebuild. And most of the components, if they haven't been cast, it could be recycled and reused. And at the end of the day, you have a very nice finishing house, and it is a clean, clear site where there is a minimum scrap, which is also recyclable. Likewise, when the site, it is clean, not messy, the site, it is also safe. So you are also complying to many of these requirements by the CIDB. Likewise, it has a green IBS score of easily 70 points and above. So you are also complying on that IBS score. If you are doing any government project that is value more than 10 million and above, that you must have an IBS score of 70 points and above. And we have a track record of using this IBS system, and we have completed more than 1,000 houses, and they are still solid, and it is still servicing with the happy owner. And here, on the glass side, we have actually double glazing, triple glazing product that is using a combination of a selected glass and most of it will be a low emissivity, which allow light to come in, but rejected the heat. So this is we call the low emissivity glass that is reducing solar heat gain. So you will gain the energy efficient. Likewise, in the design, it must be also have the passive building design, which is then take away the glare and also the heat control. So we have some projects that is mentioned here, like KKR2 Tower, which is a JKR new building. It has been awarded with Malaysia's first Platinum Certificate high-rise office building under the Green Building Index. And it has the advantage of reduced solar heat gain by employing triple pane insulated low emissivity glazing. Likewise, another icon, there is an Energy Commission diamond building, and it is the first Malaysian Platinum winner under GBI, and it has reduced much glare and also the heat control using energy efficient glass facade. And basically, I have covered my topic of presentation today, and it is now we have leaving ample room and time for the Q&A sessions. So thank you very much for your attending and also your attendance. So I pass back to the Regine for you to carry on, Regine.
Thank you very much, Dato. So for the very insightful and interesting sharing just now. So we saw that IGI is adopting a circular green supply chain, from the green energy production to the reduction in the energy consumption in the steel materials, and this will result in a less carbon footprint as well. So we can see that IGI is practicing reduce, reuse, and recycle in the manufacturing process. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we have come to the question and answer session. So we will take the questions that we received from the floor. So we'll start with the question right now. Yeah, Dato.
Okay.
Okay. So question number 1, how digitalization can contribute to green supply chain?
Oh, that is a good question. That it itself could have take some time for me to explain. So I believe many of us do have heard about Industrial 4.0, which is now highly promoting by the government as well, and also many institutions. So the key concept behind this Industrial 4.0 actually is to achieve, to make sure end-to-end manufacturing of traceable, value-added, personalized product through the interoperability environment. So when you talk about interoperability along the supply chain, through vertical and horizontal integration, that enables quality and secure information, which is called the data, which we also call it asset, are sharing as well as fast and reliable traceability. That means you know this asset or this data are being tracked and also being safely passing to somebody, and yet you are in control, but you can also trace. So data is regards to the whole life cycle of a product, from raw material extraction, production, distribution, and disposal, recycling, and can be captured and shared among the stakeholders to assist on the design evaluation and the planning decision. So this is of paramount importance to specifier like architects and the designer. Meanwhile, on the manufacturing side, with the capabilities such as big data acquisition, AI predictive analytics, production and logistic efficiency can also be improved. and thus reducing the carbon footprint to meet the green objective. We are now actually working onto it, and hopefully when the whole ecosystem is up, for example, just like a customer, when they order their product, they will know which machine is going to produce and when it is going to be delivered to the workplace. And from there, all the data, all the traceability could be also obtained. So this is why we are emphasizing on the digitization. And AGIA has actually started digitization 3 years ago. Thank you.
Thank you, Dato. Yeah, I can't agree more. Is data is king. So, and traceability of the data information throughout the whole process is very important in making every steps of the decision. Yeah. So, can we proceed with the next question? Yeah, Dato.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Yeah. So, can Dato share with us your experience how AGIA works towards Industrial 4.0? Yeah.
Oh, this is a topic.
IR is very interesting topic. Yes.
Yeah, right. I could take up another hour if you would like to listen on this aspect. We have 2.5 years back. Unfortunately, it fall into the whole spectrum of under this EMCO, or else we should have already completed our project. But now it is already at the final stage. Despite that, we are progressing well. So we have established a very special task force, and together the resources from all the relevant departments in our group, in the company, and we work on the digital transformation based on the established roadmap and the execution plan. So first, when you talk about the established roadmap, you must first look into where are the area you collecting the data, and where are the data is going to be used, and in what way that you could then make this data in the future become your asset. So the next phase of the economy actually is on the data, not the money itself. The data is your asset in the future. So this is the place that we are emphasizing that you have to asset-type your data. So compilation, establishing a roadmap, and after that, the execution, that is very important. So you must put this foundation laid before you would like to go into your what we call this vertical integration, right? So we are actually working with higher learning institutions, and as of today, we have sponsored and still sponsored 5 postgraduate students, and they work with our special task force and with the system integrators to develop an affordable and yet scalable digital infrastructure to achieve our Industrial 4.0. And we have a prototype, one of the line that is it is already now at the 90% of the completion, and hopefully by third quarter of this year, we could put that line, not just automation, but it is actually Industrial 4.0 showcase. Yeah. So these are something that I could share pertaining to the Industrial 4.0. But if anyone would like to know, I could take an hour to explain it further with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Dato, for summarize it. But yeah, so we move to the next question. I think in data management, and also very impressive AGIA, contributing to the society by sponsoring the postgraduate students. Yeah. Okay. So let's move to question number 3 here. How about in terms of costing wise, moving forward to Industrial 4.0 with your IBS system? How many % of the cost will be increased? Yeah.
When in the olden generation of IBS, when the government was then emphasizing that time, many IBS were just component IBS, not solution IBS. In a sense, is I just sell you this component, and you have to find way of how to integrate together with your existing method of construction or with other IBS component. So with that, there is a setback. And there is also, we talk about economy of scale. In the early development, the cost is higher. So there is the mindset of IBS is always higher cost. But the later few years, with the assistance of the AGIPS of AGIA, we have done very thorough study. That's why CIDB has specially categorized us under innovative system for the IBS. And they also under this MS, if I'm not mistaken, is the MS 28 for the point IBS score point. Yeah, for that we have our system is also categorized very detailed in that calculation table. So they have done the study on single story when they use our AGIP system. When the steel material is at the normal, at the generic market price, they have done the study and there is a report. We are actually slightly lower than the conventional. So that is to share with you how efficient now the cost aspect of the IBS versus conventional. And the other aspect it is how it contribute indirectly those intangible that, for example, if the construction could take you 18 months, you need the whole management team to manage the whole project for 18 months. But if using a GIP system, you could reduce it to 1/3. You complete it within 6 months. That means the turnaround time. You have the whole team of people, but they can do 3 projects rather than 1 project. You know, so these are all intangible benefits that you could save. And being using IBS system, you use less unskilled laborers. You are promoting skilled laborers, and they will become more and more skillful because it's repetitive as you go on. And you are also being a contractor, complying to the Construction Industry Transformation Program, the CITP, where you are talking about upscale, talking about economy creation, talking about higher salary, so on and so forth, you know. So if a contractor deployed IBS system of AGIPS, they could actually benefiting towards the CITP master program as well.
Okay,
so I hope I answered that question. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dato'. So perhaps I think from the audience side, they would like to know a little bit, like maybe in terms of figures, how many percent, perhaps you can give a range, you know, like, you know, what is the percentage that they'll be savings? Yeah. Also,
I would say
because there's no cost in increase, right? Yeah.
The tangible aspect, it is not much. The tangible aspect, it is about the same. I would say, you know, probably just a small percentage, which is negligible, but it is an intangible side. The long term. Yeah. For example, many do not do a calculation of disposing of the scrap at the work site. You have the disposing cost, and you also have to comply to the dumping requirement, you know, building material waste, you know. So all these are hidden that you don't know. But using ours, if you have just a little bit of skill, even you don't clear yourself, somebody will come and clear for you. Because it is so able to be recycled, So these are things, the advantage. And the other one, it is, just now I say, it's also indirect, like for example, site safety, where you use less heavy machinery, where your site, it is orderly. That means the safety level has increased.
Safe.
Yeah, and then you have a less injury. So that is also indirectly saving on the injured manpower. So these are all kind of indirect saving that you may not see it in the short term, but on the long duration journey, then you could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps it will contribute more in terms of risk management, especially for the safety aspect. And they say safety is something that money cannot measure sometimes. Yeah.
Yes, right. Totally.
Yeah. So that is also regards to this industrial IBS system lah. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And ours it has its advantage compared with those prefab. Prefab at the moment, they need to have economy of scale, and they need also heavy machineries to be at the factory area, on the transportation, and also at the site, because they are already prefab and they are heavy and bulky. So the access, the requirement of the site pertaining to the infrastructure are all of a different standard. Ours is designed like a Lego. It could be put onto a tricycle, ship it to a site, which could be on a hill, which could be just accessible by bicycle or motorcycle. Bring in the component, then you could assemble it aside. And ours are all, in the Industrial 4.0 environment, where each component are being properly labeled, are already pre-punched, pre-cut. So what you need to do, you just follow the sequence and you assemble it. And once you assemble it, this frame, then you can then make the erection up. Then you use a simple tool that you could then build the foundation already. And all the services could be then put in before you do the casting. So you need not have to then do the post hacking of the group line for the services, So all these advantages do prevail the moment our system come in. Yeah.
Yeah, right. In a way, it contributes to less waste. And also, I can imagine Legos is also something like you buy from the IKEA, right? Yeah.
Yes, right.
So it's very user-friendly. Yeah.
Yeah. On this system, we actually also, under our CSR, we have also engaged with many polytechnics, especially with the building faculties, to provide internship. And we are also providing trainings. And fortunately, our training center is also created by CIDB, where the moment there is a trainee engaged, we inform the ABM, and then the ABM will send in the assessor. So upon our training, then the assessor would check on the capability, and they could also what we call accredited on their green card on the skill level. So these are something that we are working towards, how we contribute to the unskilled laborer. The moment they step up from the poly or step up from the school, they are already become semi-skilled and they are immediately employable. Yeah.
So it brings up to the skill level faster with this.
Yes, right. So this is also another of our indirect way of contributing to the society. Yeah.
That's very good. Also providing more job opportunities. Yeah, Dato. Yeah. So let's move on to the next question. Yeah. Okay. We have a question here. What is the flexibility in terms of renovation to the unit after unit handover to the purchaser? Yeah. Perhaps Dato can elaborate on this.
Okay. Ours, it is called a wet wall system. Our system, it is very unique. It can be used as a drywall system itself. I think the drywall system, you can just delete it like your office normal dry partition, right? Dry construction method partition. So if it is a drywall system, then it is relatively easy for you to do a renovation. But when we come to the wet wall, why we make into wet wall system? Because under the tropical climates, with the much rainwater, there is plenty of water pouring down from the roof. So most of the house owner hesitate to use drywall, unlike in those developed countries at the moment. So here they prefer it to be very solid. That means with the concrete base, right? And they also are very concerned about the acoustic. So if you were to go back to the slides that just now I showed, our system has complying to the very good what we call acoustic performance when it is a wet wall. It actually comparable to a 5-star hotel room requirement. And likewise, because of the infill, so the wall itself, it is also very cooling. So insulation from the heat transfer, it is also very good. So for that, the moment it is cast in situ become a solid wall, the system itself is just like any ordinary traditional method. You can cut, you can hack, you can make a void, but your void must be according to the we actually our system we also attach with the owner's manual, which is the developer can give it along together with the SPA, where the owner can then refer. But the gist of it is just to say, if you want to cut a big void, then do it like a traditional method that you have to put up a temporary lintel, then only you could do any whatever cutting. So this is the similar to any other traditional or conventional method of a solid wall, be it brick and mortar. So our system, because it's a segmented, so it can be cut and it can be then just do any whatever extension. So years back, it is about 6 to 7 years back, before we actually came up with this system, we already know in Malaysia context, the moment family expand, the house has to expand. So we have to mitigate such a potential problem before we launch the product. And for that, thanks for sharing with you. Our system has been also patented worldwide. And we have patented this system in most of the tropical countries. Yeah.
Wow. So this has been taught on earlier, and then I think there is the flexibility is there, right, Dato'?
Yes,
okay.
Right.
How about there's a next question? What is the maximum height that the system able to build in terms of multi-story? There's a question on this. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, right. Our system is walling system. So it is not, it can combine with whatever, so long as your engineer understand our system, they could use it as a walling. Right.
Okay.
So it can be designed to become a load-bearing wall, or also just a plain non-load-bearing wall.
Okay. So what is the height?
No limit.
No limit.
Just like in this, but it has the flexibility. Like the Tsuji Hall in the Kapong, yeah. You can see the hall. The wall is so high, but then there is a structure with the PEB. Every 6 meter, there is a steel frame, and our wall, because it can be segmented, so it is a curved wall, and they need not have to use a formwork because ours naturally can be segmented. Just like last time without the curved glass, when you want to do a curved glass curtain, you use a segmented, right? So the same concept applied. So then it is an easy construction, not messy, and it reduces construction time as well.
Impressive. Yeah. So
in the Penang, there is a Jalan Geni. There is one public toilet, right?
Yes.
Jalan Geni, there is one public toilet. There is also using ours, and it is also there is a curve wall, you know. So that one is also very impressive. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for pointing out. Penang is my hometown. I can check it out later, Dato'.
Yeah, along Jalan Geni, I think beside one of the hawker center. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's a question. Yeah, myself is also renewable energy advocate. So understand that AJIA installed a 3.3 megawatt solar system. May I know how many percentage of energy saving is that equivalent to? Yeah, Dato'. So
Okay.
must save a lot of money.
On this, I'm a layman. So or a businessman. I use a layman system.
Okay.
If you do not have the what we call the maximum demand issue with your power, that means you are on the low wattage, right?
Yes, right.
Okay, for example, 500 kilo M or whatever. Then your saving it is 1 kilowatt per hour per month. You are saving about 70 ringgit. It is very impressive under this what we call especially
NEM.
now with the NEM, right? Net energy metering.
Yes.
For that, your return, if you don't take it, I think there is also another incentive. Like if you don't take that incentive into consideration, GITA, right? GITA, green.
That's a government incentive. Yeah.
Yeah. Your investment you could then recover within the 4 years. Within 4 years.
Wow.
Right? But when you have the maximum demand, they're very much depending on how you could then study. And most of the EPCC on the photovoltaic, one company that we work with that is called Plus Solar. They also have their own innovative software that could then predict, understand your energy usage, and they can actually predict where it is your maximum demand time, you know. So if you were to use a system combined together, actually you have a dual benefits. One, it is beside the energy you're using. The other one, it is you could also mitigate and reduce your maximum demand.
Maximum demand, yes, correct.
By the TMD.
Wow, Doctor also very knowledgeable in renewable energy. So I think that's quite a lot of percentage of energy saving lah. Perhaps that can refer back to your annual report.
But when you come to maximum demand, your unit you sell back to TMD is slightly lower. So for that, your return will be about 5 to 6 years lah.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Let's move on to the next question. We have few more questions to go. Yeah, Dato'.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Can we use the system to build 2-story buildings or condominium? I think it's referring to the IBS system again. Yeah.
Yes, it is. But this column and the beam, you use a traditional, or you can combine with the PEB. Because ours is a walling system only. It's not the column and the beam.
All right.
So long as the column and the beam you already put up, and then you combine with our composite floor decking, or you can use a conventional floor slab, and then you could put up not just a double story, it could be multiple stories as well.
Okay. So the question here, meaning we can build 2-story or even a condominium is possible, is it?
Yes, but when it comes to condominium, we may not have the full advantage compared with other system. That's why here we always talk about what it is the supply chain, green supply chain. So the designer, stage one, they have to assess, okay, what product they want to use, what system they want to use, and what are the distinctive advantage on this system. So when you talk about high-rise, the architect or the designer will have in mind, oh, I have already all the heavy machinery aside. I have a tower crane. I have all the heavy machinery at one restricted site, right? Restricted zone. So for that, they can have other alternative. I can use what we call recyclable formwork, So there are other alternative.
Okay.
So ours serve best if it is one unit or multiple units, but at the rural area and irrespective of number of units that the site need. Because our system is flexible in such a way, it can be carried by a one-ton truck, a pickup truck, or it can carry by a 40 tons what we call truck. So it's flexible, yes.
Right. So I think there's a few more questions here. Dato'. Is the system considered as full load bearing for all walls?
Yes, if the engineer itself has already put in the calculation, and our system allow localized reinforcement. So once it is properly reinforced, it will be similar to any traditional load-bearing walling system.
Okay. So yeah, it continues to the next question. Is interrelated. Yeah, Dato'. Okay. If total load-bearing wall system, what is the maximum height? I think this comes from the engineer. They're asking a very exact question.
Luckily, I said earlier I'm a layman, but I would say I have an engineering team that could assist. So if the person that is interested with this, we can always explore, and my engineering team will able to answer them. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Okay.
But so far, normally a house it is within
maximum height.
Certain kind of height. Yeah, unless you want to make a hall. Yeah.
4 or 5 meters shouldn't be any issue, right? Yeah.
Yes, right.
Okay.
It is only the thickness that you have to use, right? Yeah.
Okay.
And others are all complying to requirement, bomber requirement on whatever. Yes.
Yeah, I think now we go back to the solar system. What is the lifespan for the solar panels currently? To my understanding, is 25 years and above. Yeah.
Theoretically, all mentioning about 21 years. Years back, I was also a little bit skeptical about, this, how can it be lasting, But after so many years of already applied, and also with the warranty that the EPCC supplier are able to give, and it is also happened in a much earlier installed premises that we could and easily say, if you take it 21 years, including our this large-scale solar farm, when they sign with the TMB, TMB has also asked them to sign 21 or 23 years. So this is already signified that the authority in the industry has already endorsed that it should last 21 years. But it is only the efficiency. But the efficiency, the deduction, it is only minimal. It is just reducing by a small percentage over 21 years. Yeah.
Yes, correct. I agree with you. Okay, let's go to the next question. Yeah. Okay. How is the calculation being calculated? Lightweight plus concrete is based on what building codes? Yeah. This should coming from an engineer. Yeah.
It is using BS standard.
Okay.
Yeah. BS standard, and I think there is engineer that themselves they should know. And our system, when we sell you the system, our engineer will endorse that it has complying to the local building bylaw and also to the requirement for the building engineering requirement. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So now we go to the probably this is the last questions. Yeah. Okay. What is the difference between the AGIP system and the precast concrete panels? Yeah, Dato'?
Okay. Just now I have mentioned about when it comes into precast. Precast is already a panel where you pour concrete in the factory premise. That has an advantage because with the precast, you can also go into PVCC. That means it's a pre-finished volumetric construction method. You can go into that extent. And for that, then the finishing certainly is good because it's all in the covered factory environment. But you have the disadvantage. A country like Malaysia, where the population is small, where they are dispersed over wide area of residents. So then most of the construction site, due to our population density, unless a big city, you are not able to build many units in one go. So when you come to the precast, you need capacity. And the other one, it is also, they need repetitiveness. So that then they need not have to have so much formwork. And then the technical, the finishing, so that then there is an economy of scale. Ours, it is in the flame. So it is only the design we change. So we are very accommodative. You can have a model 1 of 5 units, model B of 5 units, but when you come to precast, they will be scratching their head because they will be very costly for them to do so. But for ours, it's only design, and our machine are all cammable. The moment I key in, the machine will produce a component according to the design. So there is a flexibility, but we have to cast the concrete in situ at the site. Advantage, disadvantage. Advantage is you don't bring the load to the site, where the site sometimes it is difficult to access. For example, for school, assisting school, they want to put a block in between schools. So in between the blocks of the school, there is a challenge. First is access. And normally when you go to the construction site, you will find that before they do any construction, they already do some destruction. When the moment the truck go in, the drain collapse the road being collapse as well. So you got to spend more maintenance or to repair or retrofit such. But for ours, they are all lightweight. So you bring it to the site, then you just what we call fabricate and you erect there, and then you just use what we call light tools to get it put up, and you can also do the same job, So it has advantage and disadvantage, but I would say our system has been designed in such a way that it accommodates so that it has its niche in such a requirement.
Yeah, because of the lighter design, so you have more flexibility to maneuver between more challenging job sites, right?
Yes, right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dato'. So, ladies and gentlemen, finally, we have come to the end of the webinar session today. Thank you again to our speaker, Dato', for the very informative, very interesting talk and a lot of numbers. And thank you again, the audience, for your precious time and your active participation. We see the questions coming in non-stop. So thank you for attention again. We hope to see you again. Stay safe and healthy. So
okay, thank you.
Malaysia GBC is a non-profit organization that promotes green building and sustainability. We're looking for more green-minded people like you to join us to grow the green economy. Please like our Facebook page, Malaysia Green Building Council over here. And also please take time to reply the survey link provided from IGEM. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe. Thank you, Dato' again.
Thank you, Regine. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you,
Thank you.
Moing and also Donna. Thanks, everybody. And especially thanks to Taiwei and also Putri. Without them, I'm not able to put up these slides for presentation. They are the content producer. Thank you to both of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, the Ajia team. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Dato'.
Okay,
Yes.
bye-bye. Oh, take care, yeah?
Yes, take care.